So I'm currently behind the wheel of the 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5 XRT, and this thing features drive modes and terrain modes, and I wanted to take a moment to showcase how to enable those modes and what they change in the vehicle. So how you adjust between the different drive and terrain modes are on the steering wheel. So bottom left of the steering wheel, you have a drive mode button, kind of performance sporty, located right here, and then you also have terrain mode button located kind of in the bottom of the steering wheel. So pushing the drive mode button will cycle you between eco, normal, sport, and then there's a my drive. So when you hit my drive, you also can adjust that my drive mode in the settings of the vehicle. So what that does is it allows me to basically describe what it's changing for eco, normal, and sport should you just be in those modes. So for the motor, in the eco mode, it's basically going to have the most energy efficient driving experience. You know, I call it kind of a bog down from the normal. Basically, the vehicle is going to drive as fuel efficient as it can. So, you know, you put your foot down, you're not going to go as fast as you would in, like, say, a sport mode. So normal, you know, says drive mode optimized for comfortable everyday driving. Your vehicle is going to basically boot up in the normal mode. And then you got sport, and it says drive mode optimized for sporty driving. So in terms of the EV, you have the full potential power of the battery basically unlocked in your right foot. You are going to go pretty fast and launch, you know, from red lights, you know, for the full capabilities of the XRT. And the same goes for the steering. So there's no eco mode for the steering, but you have normal and sport. So it's going to just be smooth, you know, nothing crazy. Whereas on the sport mode, more agile steering with a sporty feel. It's going to kind of keep it a little tighter for you. But that's how the drive modes adjust the vehicle. So cycling through either eco, normal, sport, or you can just, you know, pick and choose what you want. Maybe you just want sport on the motor and you just want the steering to be normal, or some reason you want eco as the motor and you want the steering to be sporty. You know, you can do that too. But so those are the drive modes when you're on the road. But you also have that terrain mode, right? So pushing that cycles you through snow, mud, and sand. Now, you know, I got a really easy job when I describe a lot of these drive modes and terrain modes in these vehicles, because, you know, they're getting less complicated in what they are actually the purpose of them, right? So snow, obviously you're going to use that in snow. Now, you know, while the XRT does have some off-road tires on it, it still has to rely on, you know, clearance issues, right? So if 3 feet of snow, I'm not going to kind of vouch that this is going to get through that, but, you know, your results may vary. So I recommend you put on the snow mode. If, you know, anything south of maybe a foot, you could probably get through with this thing, and you'll be good to go. It basically changes where the shift points of the vehicle. It, you know, won't let traction control, won't let you slip in any kind of icy snow condition. Mud, same thing. It's going to change up the traction so you can not get stuck in any sort of deep mud. And then sand, it's going to be a little bit different. So sand is obviously quite loose, and before you know it, you could spin out and just, you know, high top the vehicle, just, you know, sitting in the sand, and your wheels will just sit there and spin. So it's going to kind of change the traction system to not let that happen, right? You're not going to just send all the power to all the wheels and then all of a sudden you're just kind of beached in the sand. So that's where the sand will adjust. But this is how you adjust between the different drive modes and terrain modes in the 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5 XRT. If you have any questions on, you know, when you should use the drive mode, when you should use the terrain mode, if you have any unique situations and you want to, you know, ask me when you should use them, just leave your questions in the comments below and I will definitely help you. My channel is not as large right now, so every comment, as long as it's respectful, I personally answer. So be sure to leave those comments down there and I'll get to them. And if you can like this video, subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Every little bit helps and I appreciate it all. Thanks for watching.